Yo, what's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to the channel. We've got some huge updates today that you do not want to miss because things are heating up in Dallas. As we know, the Cowboys coaching situation has been under the microscope for a while now, and there's been some major movement behind the scenes regarding the future of the offense, leadership decisions from Jerry Jones, and what this all means for Kellen Moore and Brian Schottenheimer. As we look ahead to the 2025 season, the big question everyone is asking is whether the Dallas Cowboys will finally break through and win that elusive Super Bowl or if the coaching staff needs a major overhaul to get there. Let's break it all down, and trust me, you're going to want to hear everything we've got to say. So first, let's talk about the big picture, the Cowboys' 2024 season. We saw flashes of greatness from the Cowboys this past year, but let's be real, another playoff exit, another season without a trip to the NFC Championship game, and that same feeling of what if in the air. The defense was a bright spot, especially with the emergence of Micah Parsons, who continued to show why he's one of the most dominant players in the league. Dak Prescott, though inconsistent at times, showed leadership and made some big-time throws throughout the year, but there were also those crucial moments in the playoffs where the offense just couldn't get it done. And the root of those issues? Well, it seems to boil down to the coaching, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. So now, as we head into the offseason, Jerry Jones has to make some serious decisions about the direction of this team. Jerry Jones, the Cowboys' owner and general manager, is known for being a guy who doesn't shy away from making bold moves. He's made headlines throughout his tenure for everything from the draft to high-profile coaching hires, and his decisions are never made lightly. Now, when it comes to the future of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry has been making some strong statements that suggest he's considering some major changes. Whether it's bringing in a new offensive coordinator, making a head coaching change, or shaking up the entire offensive strategy, Jerry Jones knows that this team is built to win now. The window is still open with Dak Prescott at quarterback, and if the Cowboys are going to win it all, it has to happen soon. That's why everyone is paying close attention to what Jerry will do next, and honestly, there's a lot of speculation flying around about possible moves. Now, let's dive into the big name that's been buzzing around the Cowboys coaching search, Brian Schottenheimer. You might remember that Schottenheimer has been part of the Cowboys coaching staff before, serving as an offensive analyst in recent years. But his name has come up a lot more recently as a potential candidate to take over as the offensive coordinator or even in a more prominent role. Schottenheimer has been around the league for a while, with experience in places like the New York Jets, the St. Louis Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks. While his time with the Jets was kind of hit or miss, Schottenheimer had more success in Seattle, particularly with Russell Wilson. He was known for crafting a balanced offensive attack that mixed the run and pass, and for helping Wilson become one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league. With his track record of working with quarterbacks, it's clear that Jerry Jones sees Schottenheimer as someone who could potentially take over the reins of the Cowboys' offense. That said, there's also been some hesitation among Cowboys fans when it comes to Schottenheimer. Yes, he has experience and has worked with some pretty high-caliber quarterbacks in his career, but Cowboys fans are hungry for results. They want someone who can not only draw up creative plays but can adapt in big moments, especially in the postseason. And that's where the pressure is. While Schottenheimer may have experience, is he the right guy to help the Cowboys finally break through in January and February? That's a question that Jerry Jones will have to answer if he chooses to promote Schottenheimer or bring him in for a more significant role. It's also worth mentioning that Schottenheimer's system leans on a more run-heavy approach, and while that has its merits, it's unclear whether the Cowboys' current roster, especially with Dak Prescott at the helm, is built for that kind of offensive philosophy. Speaking of Dak Prescott, let's not forget about Kellen Moore, the Cowboys' current offensive coordinator. Moore has been a polarizing figure among Cowboys fans, with some loving his aggressive play calling and others frustrated with his inability to adjust when things aren't working, especially in high-pressure playoff games. There's no doubt that Moore brought an exciting, fast-paced offense to Dallas when he first took over the role. His ability to get the ball downfield quickly was a refreshing change after years of struggling to find an identity. But the question now is, has Moore reached his ceiling in Dallas? In the playoffs, we saw a team that, despite having an elite defense and solid pieces on offense, couldn't find the rhythm needed to win big games. This inconsistency has led many to believe that maybe it's time for a change at the offensive coordinator position. It's important to understand that this isn't a one-sided issue. Kellen Moore has done a lot of good for the Cowboys offense over the years. He's been responsible for turning Dak Prescott into a more dynamic quarterback, getting the ball to the playmakers, and even finding ways to develop the run game with Tony Pollard emerging as a solid R-bone. But when it comes down to the big moments, the playoffs, the high-pressure games, the Cowboys offense has failed to execute. That's why there's been a growing chorus of fans and analysts calling for a new voice in the offensive room. It's not that Moore isn't talented, it's just that the Cowboys need someone who can make the necessary adjustments when the stakes are raised. And as much as Jerry Jones has expressed his support for Moore in the past, the writing might be on the wall. If Moore doesn't turn things around, there's a real possibility that Jerry could make a change and bring in a new offensive mind. As we look at the potential options for the Cowboys, there's no shortage of intriguing names. For example, could Jerry Jones go after a big-name coach like Sean Payton, who has been rumored to be interested in returning to coaching? Payton would be an instant upgrade for any team, let alone the Cowboys, and his experience in New Orleans, especially his ability to work with top-tier quarterbacks like Drew Brees, could be exactly what Dak Prescott needs to take his game to the next level. Payton's offensive mind and ability to win big games are things that would surely excite Cowboys fans who are desperate for a Super Bowl run. On the other hand, Jerry could look internally and promote defensive coordinator Dan Quinn. Quinn has completely transformed the Cowboys' defense, turning it into one of the most feared units in the league. Some believe that Jerry could elevate Quinn to head coach while bringing in a new offensive coordinator to handle the offensive side of the ball. It would be a bold move, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. At the end of the day, the Cowboys are in a win-now situation, and Jerry Jones knows that. Dak Prescott's window to win a Super Bowl is still open, but it's shrinking fast. This offseason is critical for the future of the Cowboys, and the coaching staff is the key to making that leap. With a talented roster in place, especially on defense, the Cowboys can absolutely be a contender in 2025, but only if the right coaching decisions are made. The ball is in Jerry Jones' court now, and we all know that when it comes to the Cowboys, he doesn't make decisions based on the status quo, he makes bold moves. Whether that means sticking with Kellen Moore, promoting Brian Schottenheimer, or going after a big-name hire, we're about to see some major changes in Dallas, and I'm here for it. So, what do you think, Cowboys Nation? Do you think Kellen Moore deserves another chance, or is it time for a new voice on offense? Would you be happy with Brian Schottenheimer taking over, or do you think Jerry should go big and bring in someone like Sean Payton or even promote Dan Quinn? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, let's talk about it. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed the breakdown and hit that subscribe button for more Cowboys news and updates as we head into what's sure to be a wild offseason. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.